Today we're going to be taking a look at all of the new AFL Guernsey designs ahead of the 2025 AFL season. Now, of course, there's going to be more to be released from when I've been filming this video, but we've got a lot to go through. So let's take a look, go through in alphabetical order, and we'll start off with the Adelaide Crows. They're one of the more busier sides with new designs heading into 2025, and this was very recent. This is only like a couple days ago where they released this, but they have a new clash design in 2025, and like last year's, it is mostly red. But unlike last year's design, it does feature their new crow, obviously, that they have for their new logo in 2025. Now, I like the new crow. I think Adelaide have one of the best logos in the league now. And I do like this design, but I think it looks a little bit off-putting. I'm not the biggest fan of the gold collar. I personally feel like you just better off just sticking to one, so just have blue. Unlike others, I'm on the agreement that the shorts should be red. I know that it's an away Guernsey, but it doesn't need to be white. I just feel like it'll look nicer if the shorts were red. Another little subtle change with the back of Adelaide's home design. In 2025, their back collar is navy blue, whereas it was gold in 2024. And there's a new sponsor above the number with Adelaide University replacing Crypto.com. Probably not too much of a significance with that one. And you can see as well with the two Guernseys, the Hungry Jacks logo was also a bit different. Now, I was also, as you can see here, believed that this is what the Crows might be using for their Gather Round Guernsey in 2025. Thanks to the great man, Andy Munro, for pointing this one out. You know, he's someone who goes through a lot of Guernseys, and if you haven't already checked them out, I will leave the links down below if there's anything you want to see in a bit more detail, but I'll be referencing some of his stuff a little bit later on in this video. Now, we head to the next team on this list. We got Brisbane. Now, there isn't as much with Brisbane changes-wise. Obviously, with them winning the flag in 2024, they're going to have the gold logo, and I think it's a really nice touch. Also, something a little bit subtle, but for their home designs, they had Caltex as their sponsor on the front, and now, just like their away jumper last year, it is Yui. And as you can see right here, this could be a possible design for Gather Round in 2025. I think more teams are going to start creating their own unique retro designs for Gather Round. Not all have been revealed yet. I think Adelaide's might be coming out, and Brisbane's, it looks like they're going to bring back a bit of Brisbane Bears heritage, which I quite like. It's the first time they'll be using a design like this since 2014. Carlton haven't really got much changes at all. It's pretty much just their design for their away Guernsey. So as you can see, a bit of a colour change with their cuffs. Very subtle. In 2024, it was white. And in 2025, it's navy blue. I've never really been a big fan of this design, to be honest with you, particularly considering the placement of where the colours are separated. It just feels like the AFL logo is a bit out of place. Now, Collingwood, they're a club that don't normally go different with Guernsey designs. It's always the same every single year, but they've decided to randomly add an extra black stripe to their Guernseys. Now, from 2021 to 2024, they had 3 stripes, or 3 black stripes at least, a bit thicker, and now they've gone back to the thinner stripes, which they've had every year from 2020 beforehand. So this has been a thing for a while. I'm not too sure the reasoning behind why they've decided to add an extra stripe, but I think it looks a bit better. It looks a little bit cleaner. You've also noticed here how they've dropped the fly better from the Emirates logo. Now, their clash design's different, but instead of having, you know, a more unique and different design, which would have been a great time for them to implement, because they have so many unique designs they could work with, no, they've just decided to add a zigzag effect on the stripes. I don't know why. I just feel like it's quite unnecessary. From a distance, it does look like there's a bit of a blur effect on it as well. And like, it is kind of cool, but I just don't really know why. What effect does it give? I'm not too sure. Now, Essendon have finally done what I've wanted them to do for so long, and they've finally gone with a black stripe on a red background. For so many years with the Bombers, they weren't allowed to do this due to the Constitution, which basically forced the Bombers and all the Guernseys to ensure they've got a red stripe on their design. I don't know why this isn't a thing anymore, because Puma are the new apparel sponsors. I think most likely they would have asked the members, because I'm pretty sure this was like a members vote or whatever, and maybe it just doesn't matter anymore. Maybe this constitution is too old, the rules don't matter as much, and I just feel like this looks a lot cleaner, much better than their design last year. And if you look at their home Guernsey as well, I actually really like the addition of the Puma logo in the red. It looks really sick, and you notice how Dutton has replaced Fujitsu on the home design as well. For Geelong, there really isn't much at all. The only thing that I could find that they could be implementing in 2025 is this design. Now, this is what the women's side wore in 2024 for their clash. I believe this is what the men's will wear if they do wear a clash design, but the Cats only wear clash jumpers like once a year against North, and I don't think it's going to happen because of what North will be wearing for that game, which we'll show later on in this video. Now, one of the bigger changes in 2025, obviously the Gold Coast Suns. The Suns had one of the biggest rebrands we've ever seen. Not only did they unveil their new logo, but they've unveiled completely different Guernsey designs, which, let me just tell you what I think of them. If I haven't already stated, I just don't really know why they've gone with this design. I think it's really dumb having red on red. Like, it's going to be extremely hard to see from a distance on TV. Sometimes these sort of designs can work, like with stealth designs, but I just think they could have at least made the logo in the middle a bit more gold, and the waves could be a bit more gold as well, because it is the Gold Coast Suns, and I can't see any gold in the home design. You look at the away design, and it does look a little bit better. At least you can see the logo. I don't really know about this color combination. It's a bit of a different color scheme, and looking at the gold, I don't know, it feels like it's a little bit off for what they've worn in previous years. I think it's all right. I'm not the biggest fan, not going to lie. I do like this better than the red one, because at least you can see sort of what's going on. It's not just red on red. Another thing with Gold Coast as well, they've got a new apparel sponsor on their back in Zambrero. One of the better sponsors. I mean, for a team like Gold Coast, what they should do is every goal outside 50, they should award the fans with a free burrito. Imagine how cool that would be. That would make more people want to become Suns members, I reckon, if that was the case. And if you can see right here as well, this is what they might be wearing for Gather Round. It's been rumoured that this is going to be their Gather Round Guernsey, like a stealth design, sort of what Freo wore against the Suns in 2023. This looks so sick. This looks better than their other two designs. Next team we have quickly to cover is GWS. Not too much after last year where they had a bit of a redesign with all their Guernseys. Their home design, or all their designs I should say, have a new apparel sponsor in New Balance. I'm not too sure yet which, I think Mervac is going to be the logo on top, because for those that don't already know, New Balance, what they do is they like to sell off their placement on the Guernsey to make a bit more money. Hawthorn have some new designs this year that I think some are pretty good, some I'm not the biggest fan of. Hawthorn, it is going to be their 100th year in the AFL, so it's sort of like a centenary year. So as you can see, they've got an HFC centenary logo. I don't know yet if they're going to be using this as their actual logo this year. They also have this design. So Andy Munro actually covered this. It's their new Legends kit. So I think this is going to be their away design. I don't know if they're going to have any other Guernseys, like home away, maybe clash, but the Legends design they've had the last few years, they've had a few changes. This one is brown on brown. So yeah, I don't know. It's different. It's not what I would have expected for an away design. Maybe it's a one-off for the 100th year. I don't like the back of it though. Like, why would you have a white panel? I think it'd just be better have the numbers on the back in gold or white. You don't need that black box, and you certainly don't need those stripes on the bottom, considering it is a V Guernsey, not a stripe Guernsey. There is a new sponsor in the back for Hawthorn designs this year in Superhero instead of IINet, and IINet have been around for a while. And they're also going to be wearing a special one-off design in round 8 against Richmond, which is pretty much their 100th centenary jumper design that they're going to wear. And the Guernsey, as you can see, features all the names of every single player that did put on the colours for the Hawks. So a bit interesting for Hawthorn. They've gone for some decent ones and some that I'm not the biggest fan of. Next up, we're taking a look at the Ds. And as you can see, this is their new design for 2025 for their Clash kit. For God knows what reason, they've decided to add little triangle patterns, little faint triangle patterns on the red yoke. I don't really know why. It's a bit unnecessary, but I mean, it looks sort of neat. It's yeah, just a bit unneeded. This is cool though. They have partnered with Grilled as their new sponsor for 2025, and because of with New Balance, it is displayed on the top of their design for their Guernsey, and I think this is a pretty cool one. It replaces IG from last year, and I'll tell you what, these are the sponsors you want. Like, as a St Kilda fan, instead of Grilled, we have bloody CIIC Invest. What the fuck will CIIC Invest be useful for? With Melbourne, you know, you could get free burgers after a win or discounts. Like that's something that will be put into good use. So I'm a bit jealous that, you know, Melbourne have Grilled, Gold Coast have Zambrero, St Kilda, a lot of other teams have boring crypto, you know, companies, investment companies as their sponsors. Yeah, they make them a lot of money, but these are the sort of sponsors I want to see more in the AFL, and I think Melbourne fans probably are happy with Grilled. If you didn't know this, now you do. North Melbourne, I really like the look of this design. Just like Hawthorn, they have a 100th year anniversary kit. Yeah, I like this one. It's a throwback to their traditional design they had back when they entered the league, and it's a beauty. White V with a blue background, really nice looking blue, royal blue, and you've got the collar as well, so a bit of a retro design. This is what they'll be wearing against Geelong in round 20. So that's why I said before, if they're going to be wearing this, why would Geelong bother wearing that other dark blue design? It would be nice if they wore it a few more times as maybe an alternate kit, but It looks like this is what they're going to have as a clash like last year, and obviously they're home. Port Adelaide have a very subtle change, both them and Richmond. We'll start off with the power. You might not be able to see it in the naked eye. I know the image is a little bit different, but it's pretty much just a raised collar, or at least a little bit of a different collar. And the Macron logo, as you can see right there, their apparel sponsor, is raised. So Port fans watching this don't have to worry about feeling too pressured in rushing out to buy the new 2025 home design. It's basically the same. And Richmond, this is interesting. They, for some reason, decided to bring a sash on the back of their away designs in 2024 when they didn't have it for so many years, and they've decided to get rid of it this year for the right reason. I remember being at the Adelaide v Richmond game, and I just couldn't really see the player numbers. It looked very weird. I just didn't think it was necessary. So I think there's a reason why they've gotten rid of it, and I'm a fan because it just looked a bit off-putting. Now, the Saints, they're a side that always seem to be involved heavily with designs, which is not good for my bloody bank account. As you can see, St Kilda do have a new logo in 2025, and it is implemented on their designs. Now, it's probably a bit bigger than what it needs to be, but I think it's a bit of a throwback in a way to like their older designs in like the 60s or 70s, where they did have that black shield. Some don't like it. Last year, the Saints had a little black stripe around the collar and the cuffs, and the collar and the cuffs now are just purely white, which I think are a bit cleaner. Now, St Kilda have two designs that they'll be wearing this year for the Clash alternative kit. So obviously the home design, but they brought back the hot cross bun design that they had 2023. Obviously, they had this as a home to Guernsey in the 90s and the 2000s. Brought it back, which I think is nice. Well, instead of last year's boring majority white stripe design, they've gone the candy stripe, which they had last year, but only for like a couple games. This will be a permanent Clash design. So hopefully we get to see this kit worn a bit more. I think they both look really nice. Like, I have no complaints as a St Kilda fan with these designs, and I think they've done arguably as good as any other team with creativity. Another nice touch to see with St Kilda, they only recently just revealed that they'll have a Spuds game jumper in 2025 that they'll wear against Carlton. In previous years, I'm pretty sure they had a Spuds game jumper just with a little and like just a little icon on the Guernsey. This is a really nice touch. So essentially, the fans have a chance to get their own name on the Guernsey. There are 1,000 spots with the price being $300 to get a name on, and obviously to keep the Guernsey as well. As you can see, you've got Danny Frawley, the only name highlighted in blue with the blue cuffs. Yeah, so before, only 1,000 spots available, and you get to have your name on the design, with all proceeds as well going towards men's mental health, which is a great cause. It's a big issue at the moment in the AFL, as we've seen with a few recent passings. So you have a few little minor details that change up with some of their designs. They've decided to add insurance underneath the QBE logo, which is quite retro, because this is something they haven't had on their Guernsey since 2001. QBE have been a major sponsor for Sydney for so long, so I'm wondering why they've decided to add the insurance part. Is it like their new logo for QBE? I couldn't tell you. Also, with their away design that they do wear for away games in Melbourne, the South Melbourne V, they've removed the red cuffs for no real reason, to be honest with you. I almost feel like it probably looks a bit better. The whites just seemed a little bit off-putting, because you can see the red V sort of like cuts off a bit. It looks like the Swans having a Pride design in 2025, so I think it's the Pride game still against St Kilda. I'm not too sure. And thanks again to Andy Munro for pointing this one out. I don't know where he found it, but you can see a little bit of design that they'll be wearing this year. And the last team that we have of any new designs is the Western Bulldogs, and just like Hawthorn and North Melbourne, this is also going to be their 100th year, so they've got a new logo to complement that, and I think this is what they'll be actually officially be rolling with in 2025. So not just on their design, on their Guernsey, but like for everything, like their merch. I believe like on the AFL website, this is the logo they'll be using. And as you can see as well, they've actually decided to drop that white collar, which I thought looked really shit. They haven't released their 100th year anniversary Guernsey that they'll be wearing, you would think, for their game against Collingwood at the G. So that'll probably come out soon, unless they have released it and I'm just an idiot. And as you can see right here, the Dogs have brought back the, I don't know what you call it, the Bulldog design for their away Guernsey. And I think it looks quite cool. I'm not too sure why they've randomly decided to just bring it back from a 9-year hiatus, but I like it. It's, you know, a little bit more creative and unique than just a regular plain white design with a red and blue stripe. You got the Bulldog coming out, and then you got the red and blue. You know, these are the sort of Guernseys I do like to see more of. So yeah, I'm a fan of this one, and pretty interesting, pretty cool how they brought this one back. Some people might be like, oh, you've just missed Freo and West Coast, you idiot. I haven't. There's nothing to talk about with Freo and West Coast. Nothing's changing from 2024 to 2025. What is going to be changing, though, is this design. This is going to be a completely new design for the Indigenous All-Stars game. I thought I'd quickly show this that they'll be wearing against Freo. Yeah, pretty nice design, obviously, with the dot paintings and all that. I think it looks quite cool. I've also gone through some training designs I want to show on screen as well. Some of these are new. I particularly like the St Kilda one. the Brisbane one and the Melbourne one, but a few of these are pretty nice. I don't know how many are going to be worn in preseason games. Probably a few. I wouldn't believe any of these designs are going to be worn in actual games. Obviously, there'll be more Guernseys released throughout the year. As of filming this, it's like the 8th of Feb, so if more come out and I missed it, well, that's because they haven't been released yet. Like, I'm expecting, you know, special jumpers like the Carlton Respects Guernsey or the country game design to come back, and obviously the Indigenous Guernseys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, hopefully you learned a few things here or there. Make sure to check out Andy Munro. He's the Guernsey man. I got a few information from him. He's a great guy, so check him out down below. And thank you all for watching. I'll be away as well for 2 weeks in Bali with mates, but I have a few pre-filmed videos that I'll have up for the next couple of weeks that I'll probably have to edit there, which isn't going to be ideal, but just thought I'd let you know what's going on. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you very soon for some more footy content.